various services the ICE, the Innovation Center, can provide. And you can imagine if you work that this is a very exciting project. Maybe it's not very exciting in the United States because there's too many project incubators. Are you excited?
No, I'm excited for Egypt because it is good. They do a lot of good. One of the ones that I participate with, they do it for the youth and for grown-ups, startup companies. And what they do is they will invite like HP to open their conference room and give a presentation today of what is needed to put an IT network in the business. And so the entrepreneur learns, oh, I'm going to have an expense, an IT expense, and then they it worked very well.
Yeah, so this is the networking portion, which is to hook entrepreneurs up with investors, with consultants, with companies, and that take place through regular meetings, either monthly, weekly meetings, and we should have like an annual conference. I don't think we'll be able to do this initially because conferences, national conferences need a lot of money, but it's something that can be done down the road. And as I said, we can invite people from all over. So this is a summary about ICE, the Innovation Center. But I am not here for ICE because I think, of course, we would love to have any support from anybody, from any organization on ICE, but I'm not here for ICE. I'm here for the follow-up idea that came through. So you have an innovation center, you have a breeding stage for startup projects and great ideas, innovations. Now you need a great funding source to support that, right? To convert these ideas into companies, into projects, into real companies, right? So the first thing I thought about is to form a venture capital in Egypt. But I'm not sure about how supportive the Egyptian law to the idea of venture capital. You know, it might not be very compatible now. The more appropriate, I think, at that time over venture capital might be a holding company, to have a holding company, شركة قابضة. So you have that innovation center that's always producing great ideas and great visibility studies and then you have a holding company that has some sort of capital that convert that into companies and provide them with the minimal fund required to help them grow and succeed.
That's the most important part. And you probably need contractors. And you need some people really have the money and they are willing to sponsor what you're talking about. And if the projects are sensitive to the people, such as sewage, such as food, such as drinking water, it will fly.
I'm coming to that.
Good.
So in focusing on the projects to pick up, because there are so many good ideas also. You know, when you go to Egypt today, the young men there and women having great ideas, and there are already feasibility studies. So I said that in that endeavor, we should focus on Egyptians abroad because we are Egyptians abroad, and Egyptians abroad are, almost all of them are well educated and they have money, and they lived in some of those countries, advanced countries, so they value the technology, and they lived in an advanced system. So I think number one, if we create that holding company or venture capital group, we should focus on Egyptians abroad as target for funding to be shareholders. And number two, we should focus on what you said, is to the problems, the big problems of Egypt.
Excuse me, I just like to say something. What we say is very nice and it's very good, and really we appreciate what you talk about. I can guarantee right now 100% for the people sitting here, they like to do this and they like to help, and they did already before all this stuff for years. One of them I did try years, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I have been here 40 years in that state. Okay? And you go there, you have a project, you have an idea, and you try to start it. But the system is lousy. The system is corruption, is lousy, and you can spend million dollars for invention. You can have idea. They have so many ideas in Egypt. But when you get to try to really work in the project and do the project, they cut you pieces. They cut you pieces.
Okay.
They didn't give you a chance.
I appreciate what you said. What you're saying is very generic and very universal. Before the revolution, not like after the revolution. Corruption is going down there. I'm not saying it's not completely over,
I understand it's going
but
down,
going
really.
down.
But it's not, you can't expect from 0 to 100% in 2 years, or even 10 years. If Egypt improve in 10 years, I give you $1 million now. I think so. It takes time.
Okay.
The movement will take steps, and I think
Yes.
one of the things that he's saying and mentioning now will be the steps that we will take to reach to that goal. If we're not going to start now, then I don't think we're going to reach the goal. So
We will never start.
Yeah. So I think you have a very good point with the system. How can we protect our share, or what we are thinking about? That's what we need to do. If there is a law with the new government or the new president that will support or protect the good idea that you have.
There are many holding companies right now in
Okay.
Egypt, and many of them are working and making a lot of money. Actually, if you know how to work it out, you can make more money in Egypt much
Yes,
more.
I know there's a lot.
تستفيد من الدعم. What's دعم in English, by the way? Subsidiary? Subsidy. So it's a subsidiary, and you see it from cheap labor and cheap everything and cheap gas and cheap. You can make more money over there.
And there's people are making
Look at the
more.
real estate market here. What happened to the real estate market? It was not affected. It actually was booming.
No,
It was
it was affected.
No,
was
no.
affected a little
not
bit.
much.
Don't tell me no. I'm one of them in Egypt.
Not in every board, not in all boards.
And I own real
Yeah,
estate
it was
also.
affected in the last 3 years, yes.
But not as
Or 2
here.
years.
I'm talking
Not
about
as much as here. Yes.
my own real estate was going up. So maybe that's not the point. We have holding companies right now in Egypt, and they are making a lot of money, and it's already there. The law supports creating a holding company. I already created the innovation center, and I am not here for the innovation center. I'm here for the funding portion, which would be either a venture capital group. I believe it's not very compatible now with the system. It might be compatible in 5 years. So we're talking about something that's happening and taking place, and people are making a lot of money. I'm not saying we're not gonna ask Congress in Egypt, Majlis Shab, to create the law for a holding company. No.
We'll never finish. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean you can make business in Egypt. This is
She
the
has a question.
Yes, okay. So for some of us like me who do not have experience in an investment in these private investments, what does it mean to have a holding company? So, for example, if I was to make a contribution, am I a shareholder and my name is part of part of the holding company? Am I liable if there's a problem? You know, just give us the general idea.
Generally, I
Do you
think
need
that's it.
do you need to be you have to hold
think-
citizenship in Egypt actually
Can you
to be a
answer this question?
shareholder?
لو سمحت I'll try to I came here لو تسمح لي يعني
تفضل تفضل.
I thought that you are talking about a venture capital fund. It's an industry. It's a worldwide industry, okay? And the way it works around the world, in the States, in Europe, is it's a closed-end fund. You know what the difference between an open-ended fund and a closed-end fund? Closed-end fund usually has a
5
life
years.
duration of 10 years, and then after 10 years you liquidate it and answer your question. So basically, an investor would come in and would invest in a unit. It's not a holding company. It's a fund, okay? and your liability is up to your